y'all what it do. It's your girl Brittany. I am back. I am better with another video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the bell to be notified of every time I post. You know what it is. I know what it is. We know that I post frequently, damn near every day. All right, let's get into it. We are jumping, we are skipping, we hopping, we leaping, we doing a daggy bow, our daggy y'all into this video. Click the link down in the description box below to become a paid member on my Patreon. Thank you. You won't regret it. All right, y'all, like I said before, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like the video, okay? Like it, and click the bell. All right, y'all, let's get into the Dollhouse panel because, baby, the girls got into some things. So, first things first, we are talking about Jelani and Ari. So, the reunion is the first week of October. Baby, the girls is trying to stand in the pain. They trying to stand on business. But one of my favorite dolls is not currently right now attending. Now, obviously, y'all know everybody say, I'm not coming. Then they change their mind at the last minute. And, bitch, you want your last 5 minutes of camera time, please. So, Ari apparently isn't coming to the reunion. Ari is kind of tripped out, puzzled a little bit because she's like, where did this Ari hate train come from? She's not understanding why the girls want to fight her so bad. Now, I've said it, early on as I was figuring Ari out and seeing if I liked her or not. I was trying to figure out too why the girls be hating on Ari so hard. Like, since day one, everybody and their daddy need that from Ari. And if we go off the facts, the girls did tell us that they felt like Ari was boring in the group chat. Boring to me equals wasn't really trying to be drama in the group chat. That's what boring gives off to me. Because if she was popping in the group chat, it'd be like, okay, she popping it. As soon as I see her, I'm on it. I need that. But they just kept saying that they thought that she was going to get boring. And, she came and turned it up. Ari going to catch all her face. She not ducking. She going to get out there with anybody. She giving looks. And I get it, Y'all are somewhat closing the season now. And 1,001 people still need that from you. Why do these 1,001 people still need that from you? Maybe one or two fades. But I understand. Because it is given, what's the reason? Obviously a prime example is Jada, who is locked up and they won't let her out. Thank God. She wanted to fight Ari for no reason. She just wanted to fight. She just picked somebody and she picked Ari and she was like, okay, I'm going to fight you for no reason. So I can definitely understand, Ari's concern. Like, hey, I want to be here. I want to be a doll. I want to be everything I could be. Give y'all that. But at the same time, I'm not going to keep putting myself in rooms when it's 1,001 people that want to fight me. Now, Jelani felt hit. And she wanted Ari to come up and explain herself. Because Jelani felt as though in the last episode, Ari was in the room with Jelani, Okasha, and somebody else who was up, and I think it was Swayana, who don't need to come back next season. But Jelani felt like, you was in the room. With you being in the room, if you feel as though it's you and Trini versus the house, why was you in the room with us? And maybe, she could have been feeling this way over time because it does seem as though it's now, currently, Trini and Ari versus the other girls. More so. Like, maybe Ari a little more cordial with some of the girls. But it's like, she want to have her friend Trini back. And Trini is her real life friend outside of this. Even though, they got into a little sister spat on the bus that day. We then get into the most valuable dolls so far. Now, these are my opinions. You don't have to agree with my opinion because you don't have to agree. And this is my opinion. This is my channel. And these are me, myself, and I. These are my most valuable dolls. So, it's the two girlies that y'all see on the screen, which is Jaybiez and Ari. Now, let me start off with Ari because I liked Ari since day one. I feel as though Ari don't try too hard. She came in cute first day. Came in giving looks first day. Came in running fades first day. The girls was picking on her for no reason. It wasn't given, as they would say, brick. I think early on in the show, like the first and second episode, when the girls was, trying to give Now That's TV, when Kenzie kept saying, like, y'all gotta run y'all ones, and, oh, this how Now That's TV do it. Ain't no making up, ain't no doing this, ain't no doing that. A lot of the girlies gave brick. Okay? They were giving brickyard, brick. What they say, house. They were giving brickyard. They were giving stump the yard, in my opinion, because, again, from what the trailer gave, it gave, like, soft academy for the T-girls, and then, it gave Now That's TV powwow. Let's get in there. Let's fight it out. So, one thing I will agree with Joy saying is, like, you come already giving doll. You don't come giving brick squad, jump in the yard. I'm about to fight or whatever. You don't give that early on. You'll get it as you find. But you come in already cute. You come in already put together, as a woman. You come in looking like that. And I feel as though early on, Ari embodied that. And like I said, she's been very entertaining. She's been very entertaining to me. She's been super entertaining to me. I've enjoyed her when it comes to her squabbles, her keys, when it comes to, the aftermath of her fight, how she act, her looks. I like Ari all around, and I believe she wins doll of the season anyway. Well deserved. Okay, Jaybiez. Jaybiez, for obvious reasons, is one of the most valuable dolls. First of all, we've been waiting on her to get here forever now, okay? When it comes to the panels, she's been really doing it. She ain't even been on a show and has been giving on them panels. So that's just that. When she finally gets on our screen, because mind you, we've been waiting on her. She gave an entrance of a lifetime. When she finally gets on our screen, she stumps the yard with all the girlies. All of them. Everybody who needed that, wanted that, Jaybiez gave it to them. Gave it to them. Confessionals, 8. Keyed in the confessionals, keyed. Storytelling, amazing. Looks, the confessional look, simple, but 8. It was everything. I loved her confessional look. She ate it up. She ate it down. And I definitely think, if they were to get another host next season, I definitely think it should be Jaybiez. I do, because she was very anticipated. We really wanted her. And like I said before, she did not disappoint. She came, she put on a show, she conquered. And I definitely think, probably to the end of the season, whenever that'll be, she will be the show. She will be the show. So, yeah, those are my 2. Now, I do have some honorable mentions. Jaylani, obviously, because Jaylani can fight. Watch out. Obviously. Joyce, because Joyce is reading the girls. Joyce is giving looks. And Joyce is fighting certain people. Only reason why I put London in here is because whatever episode that was when her and Joyce got to fight, baby, her confessionals was on 10. She had me hollering the whole time. Talking about Bria feet, talking about Joyce's looks. She ate that up. I'm not going to lie to you. She ate that up. And for the most part, she has been giving looks. For the most part. But I will say, if that episode was not there, she wouldn't be up. She wouldn't be on this list. I promise you, she wouldn't be on this list. And obviously, security, Michaela. Now, Michaela ended up letting it be known today, earlier, that she was not going to be attending the reunion. And again, like I said with Ari, and I would say with her, everybody say they're not going to attend the reunion until the reunion comes, and everybody and their daddy at the reunion. So, please. Now, I did forget the host's name, but he does a great job with his panel. He does a great job with his panel, very much so, who hosts the after show with the Dollhouse girlies. Boom. So he ended up asking a question on how did Jaybiez score basically a Swayway podcast interview by herself. Now, Pookie came, but in that video, I will tell y'all my thoughts about Pookie and everything, and just everything on it. So, like I said, he asked, how did you get your own personal Swayway podcast without the rest of the dolls? So I answered the question for her, because I said, girl, I got it. Shut up. Let me talk for you. The reason why Jaybiez was able to get her own Swayway podcast interview. Even though Pookie was there, Pookie was not the show. I think Pookie was already with her. And, Pookie was there off of that. That's my opinion. I don't think that nobody was thinking about Pookie when he called up Jaybiez and was like, hey, you want to do this interview with me? I think it was more so that Jaybiez came and did what she needed to do. Immediately, it said lights, camera, she said fade, and she took off. She took off on Savannah, did what she needed to do to Savannah, got Savannah up out of there, turned around, and whooped on Pookie, Persuasion. She whooped on somebody else too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know who else she whooped on. But, she was just whooping on the girls. Whooped on the girls in one day. Y'all know that sound, that Umar Johnson sound? White man did it in one day. That's what Jaybiez reminds me of. Jaybiez did it in one day. One day, she was just running through that house. Running through them girls. Came in, Kenzie. She got into it with Kenzie. Came in there running through them girls. Like it wasn't nothing. And giving us what we wanted. Telling her confession like, did her homework. I seen, Persuasion run through these girls, but I'm going to just take a chance. Let's dance. Got up in there and definitely gave Persuasion something to work with. Pookie came down there, hood fish, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Dropped. Immediately. Like, Jaybiez ain't in to play with. And I think because she shook the house up so quick, why would she not deserve a podcast just all about her? Why would she not? And not only that, I will be very clear. I will go down her resume. As y'all know, Jaybiez has already been on TV. Now, I didn't know none of Jaybiez before this show. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I've told y'all in several of my lives, I don't watch a lot of TV outside of these shows and anime. And I barely watch anime at this point. I'm not really a big TV person like I once was. But, from the blogs, picking up old clips and stuff like that, Jaybiez had already been on TV before. Not only that, she's a social media girl. She does Twitch. And not only that, she be on them panels. Like, early on in the season, she was waking them panels up just with her presence, just with her personality. So I definitely think it was very well deserved. And not only that, let me make sure I put a period on that, and let me go to my next statement. Early on in the show, like I said, where they dropped the ball, in my opinion, was the trailer. Whoever that man was who went on vacation, they should have made him do the trailer before he went on vacation. But because he didn't, the show looked like something that it wasn't. So we as the audience was very confused early on with the theme of the show. And honestly, even after they got into episode 1, episode 2, you were still lost by the concept of what the show was supposed to give, in my opinion, when it came to like overall theme. By episode maybe 3, really 4, we didn't understood it was Joyce and Michaela versus the house. All these girls was really here to fight Joyce, get Joyce, whoop on Joyce, make Joyce life a living hell. And, she was supposed to be running her ones. But she ended up bringing backup, and backup was getting out here with the girls. So it was more so that. That then, started to get boring. Because who really cares? At one point when Jelani then tore Michaela, it was like, okay, well, you got tore. So, okay, let's move on. Let's go somewhere else. Then, they end up bringing Sydney early on. It was very like, it's a lot going on. Then they brought Akasha. And it was like, okay, we moving the story along a little more. We finna really press her job title. I don't feel as though when it was with Sydney, it came off as threatening, because it was just like, it's Sydney. Nobody takes her serious. But I think when it came to Akasha, it was like, okay, Akasha really might be here to actually take Joyce's spot. For real, for real. So, it was a lot of things being played. I think every other thing was background. I think overall, when it came to Barbie wanting to fight Trini, Bria wanting to fight Kenzie, all them other phase was background noise. Because the main thing was Joyce versus the other girls. Very much so. Joyce, doing all that. And mind you, after a while, it did kind of die down. It did, in my opinion, start getting boring. Now, let me tell you, and I always tell y'all this. I don't care what Now That's TV say. I don't care, and I call Zeus out every time too. When it comes to Dollhouse, I do not believe by no circumstances that Dollhouse is their number one show. And the reason why I don't feel like Dollhouse is their number one show is because of the way they stopped marketing Dollhouse. In the beginning, when Dollhouse first came out, Now That's TV was really pushing. When it came to BBO, they was pushing. And the shows they really overly push out is the shows that, to me, in my opinion, don't really do the same numbers as a Playboy, as a South Central Baddies. Now, granted, because I know somebody gonna say it, I'll give you that. Them shows are foundational shows in Now That's TV. And that's true. They are foundational shows in Now That's TV. And maybe they don't feel like they have to market it as much because they know, okay, y'all gonna watch that. But I feel as though when they overly market something, they be trying to change the narrative, change it up. And then I think too, because it's too many people being like, yes, that was good. Like, yes, give me more ideas. It's too many people that's used to saying yes, or too many people being like, that's a great idea, and that's a great idea, that they shows get lost in the sauce. Like at one point with BBO, they had them doing challenges. It was like, why are they doing challenges? With this show, again, early on, they in here with squabble material on, ready to bang. And the trailer gave, oh my gosh, like, this is a sisterhood. This is like the academy. The girls are going to get along. Maybe it might be a squabble here and there, but it's not that bad. So in my personal opinion, that's why I feel as though, it's not their main show. And my biggest thing that I always go to is what time they put the show out. I don't care what nobody say. When they started putting BBO out on Saturdays, I said BBO has lost the numbers. When they started putting it out at 12 a.m., talking about something, so we can give y'all the show that y'all looking for. Mind you, every week we had something to say about Young and Reckless, but I swear to you, they kept Young and Reckless at 6, 7 o'clock. Kept Young and Reckless at 6, 7 o'clock. You ain't never see Young and Reckless move up the charts. You had never seen them be like, oh, well, let's just surprise y'all and give y'all Young and Reckless on Saturday. You had never seen them do that. Why? Because regardless of how we complain, that was still their number one show. Still their number one show to this day. Still their number one show. We can complain about Young and Reckless all day. Oh, y'all just keep talking about Minnie. Who cares out of this? We were still tuning in. And they never changed their time slot. To me, once they change the time slot, that lets me know everything I need to know about this show. I don't care how much y'all say, number one show on the network, number one show, we going up, we doing this, we doing that. No. If that time slot is changed, that mean that viewership can change. That mean we starting to get bored. And to me too, one thing they was doing to shut up, girl. One thing they was doing to show, in my opinion, that, we were starting to get bored, they kept teasing, Jaybiez coming. They kept teasing them same little clips of Jaybiez. Well, even when we got the the mid-season trailer, it was all Jaybiez. Jaybiez ain't come till 3 episodes later. And to be honest, when do they really, truly, for real, when do they ever really do like a full-on mid-season trailer? They barely do that. They rarely do that. So, like I said before, that lets me know that viewership is down. If they move you up in the time slot or move you to another day, viewership is down. I care what nobody say. When it comes to, if you come on 12 a.m., you 5 p.m., 4 p.m., they just throwing you out there. They gonna get you out the way. Even when it came to Dollhouse, they was putting Dollhouse at 5. They turned around and then or really they would put it out at 4 my time. They would put it out 4 or 5 and then turn around and put All Stars on at 6. And then you got whatever show, Playboys or whatever, they'll put that out at 7. But even then, before Playboys was even finna come out, they didn't put All Stars still at 7 o'clock. But they made sure they gave you Dollhouse at 5 with Jaybiez coming and all. And, not to try to disparage the girls or anything, because I do want them to win. But I do hate when they over-marketed stuff. And I talk about Zeus and when they do that stuff, too. I hate when they do that type of stuff. And I understand this for marketing purposes, but that is very annoying. Now, Jaybiez ends up talking about Joyce and Savannah and everything that happened to do with the episode. And I'm glad she kind of cleared some stuff up. So, number one, she said that she was knotting Savannah face up. Savannah had at least like 3 knots on her. She was punching Savannah. She was not scratching Savannah at all. She said that she was in there knotting bitches up, naughty. She was knotting Savannah up. Moving on, as y'all know, the way it was edited, it seemed like Kenzie just went down there. They weren't paying no attention, and Kenzie just took off on Jaybiez. Jaybiez ends up saying that it didn't happen like that. So, as y'all know, YG and Jaybiez is close. If I'm not mistaken, they like sisters, mother-daughter relationship or something like that. I don't know, child. But anyways, they close. So, Jaybiez was checking Joyce about trying to fight YG while they was at that table. She was, in the midst of checking her. And she said Kenzie came down, and it wasn't like Kenzie came right down and tried to fight her. Kenzie came down, Kenzie spoke, then went over talking to Deja for 15 minutes. And, after they looked at her for a little while, Kenzie just was over there talking to Deja, acting like, oh, I'm just talking to Deja, da-da-da. I'm not a threat. Jaybiez then, looks over back to Joyce. And that's when Kenzie ended up sneaking her. So she was like, they edited like that to make it seem like she just was taking off. But no, she had put her guard down because Kenzie was down there for a while. Now, she was checking Joyce for YG because she felt as though Joyce ain't got in the field with nobody else. So you want to get in the field with YG, but you don't want to get in the field with nobody else. And she said that Joyce basically was covering her own ass. That's why she was fighting behind Jaybiez, because it was like, oh, I'm going to show like I'm a real friend to you. I'm doing more than YG. And it's like, no, you doing this so I won't pop on you. But Jaybiez ends up saying that she cracked Joyce with a perfume bottle at the Now That's TV headquarters, allegedly. I wonder did they get that. I hope that was filmed when she cracked her like that. Now, Jaybiez ends up making it clear that Kenzie did not, make her start bleeding. She ended up hitting the wall, which we discussed this on the review, that it didn't make no sense how, her face started bleeding. And a lot of y'all was saying in the comments that she hit the fireplace. And I'm like, right. Because it wasn't Kenzie. Kenzie's like, I hit too hard. Got that eye. And I'm like, you hit her on the opposite side. How you got an eye on the opposite side? That don't make no sense. Kenzie a little slow. They then move on to Kenzie going home after this. So Kenzie, in my opinion, I haven't seen it yet, but from what they basically saying, they was saying that Kenzie was PC'd up. Kenzie did not want to give Jaybiez her fair fade after that. And Kenzie ended up going home. So Kenzie like, I ain't go home because of that. I went home because it was cold as ever. I was tired. I had to fight every other day. I was ready to go home. I was just ready to go home. No, Kenzie, you was PC'd up and you went home because of Jaybiez. And I'm already stamping that because you are scary. You do be picking and choosing. And Kenzie definitely thinks she's a pretty princess and gonna just lay on her back. You're not gonna lay on your back. Good. And the way they was reading Kenzie's for fields on that sway way. Good. Peanut butter butt. That took me. Oh my God. When I say don't ever put Jaybiez and Pookie in a room together again unless you want to laugh out loud. Okay? I mean, holler. You know how black people hit somebody and walk off, run off, baby. That's an interview I could watch for the rest of my life. And forever will find a new key. When I say the girls carried. Now, the last thing we're going to get into is the reunion. So, Allegedly, they trying to bring Sky to the reunion. Now, I will never post Sky on my channel. I do not like Sky. I do not care for her personality. I just don't care for her as a person, and including Monkey. I don't like Monkey. So I would never, post their face on my channel. When I tell you, I second them not bringing Sky. If Sky did not want to come to Dollhouse, Sky should not be invited to the reunion at all whatsoever. I think that's crazy that they would invite Sky to the reunion to get beat up, because I know Sky's going to get tore left, right, center. Now, who will fight her? I don't know, but I don't understand why they trying to bring new girls when, this cast is more than enough. This cast is okay. I definitely feel as though now, because the season is about to be over in a minute, baby, let it go, wrap it up, and, take it home. Let's get ready for season 2. What are we bringing Sky for? Sky did nothing when it came to South Central Baddies season 5, and I think that's where y'all should keep her, in the books of last year. Don't bring her nowhere this year. If anything, Sky, Persuasion, keep them in the background every time. Thank y'all. And another thing, P.S. to Shyla. The only person I'm talking to is Shyla. I'm not talking to none of y'all. Shyla, please keep your ass off the panel. I don't understand why you keep coming over here. Didn't they eliminate you? Brick House. Like, they eliminated you a long time ago. Why do you keep coming to a party that you were no longer invited to? You look a mess. Go work. Go work on the look, please. Please and thank you. Them thick ass eyelashes. The bob that ain't bob yet. Like, come on now. Why do you keep coming on the panel when they don't like you like that? I mean, they like you now, but I'm saying they didn't like you enough to keep you in the house. You got kicked out. So what you need to be doing is being in the background, being behind the scenes, and getting ready for the upcoming reunion. Stop showing your face on the panels and you not in none of this stuff. Nobody cares about your opinion because they kicked you off. Make them earn your opinion. I just feel as though you keep coming on the panel and nobody needs you here. You were fired. Do what people who don't have a job, unemployed people do. Go get a new job. Go get you a new job, babes. But that's all I got for y'all in this one. Love y'all. Bye.